So now I'm interested to hear you talk about the power of AI.
Mhm.
How can you recall a time when being aware of AI philosophy and principles helped you accomplish something that you never thought would be possible, and that you helped other organizations make something happen that was really magical?
Mhm. Well, thank you. I mean, one of the beauty of an interview like this, it gives you that chance to reflect back on a body of 20 years. And I was thinking, what would be one story? Because there are a number, but the one that I think is important, particularly today when we live in a polarized world where we have people almost afraid to come together and discuss things. So this story goes back to 2006, and it was when I was working with the school board, which is the largest in Canada. And the superintendent of special education had asked if Sue Derby, do you remember Sue, the sumo experience partner?
Yes.
We had just completed the year before the Imagine Student Success, where we brought 1,000 people together on an AI summit. And out of it came a stream of work. And so we continued to work with them for 3 years. So the superintendent wanted to get input from stakeholders for the provincial government, the Ministry of Education, on what policy changes needed to be made for children on the autism spectrum. Now, at that time, there was a lot of tension. Parents and advocates were suing both the government and the school boards around improving the processes being offered. And so we convinced the superintendent to go from 30 people to 180, which was a little nerve-wracking. And we set up each table. It was like a wedding. You were sent to a table, and at each table was a microcosm of the system. There was an advocate, a parent, an autistic youth. There was someone from one of the ministries, someone from a community agency, educators, and so on. And the night before, the superintendent, about 11 o'clock, called me, and she was like, my gosh, no, she said, if you go to the autism website, it tells you, if you didn't get an invite, storm the building, here's the address.
Wow.
So she was more than a little nervous. And I said, okay, we'll have an envelope with the questions, your secretary's email address. We'll tell them the fire department won't let them in because we're at max. Of course, no one did show up the next morning in that way. But when people walked in, there was a lot of tension. So after she opened it up and I was about to put them into the paired interview, during the night, this quote came to me. I did not make it up. It just came to me. And I opened it up and I said, the complexity of today's problems are such that we must bring together like-hearted people. 180 in this room are all passionate to a person about improving education for our children on the spectrum. And no one can deny that. And we must use the diversity of our thinking. 180 of you thought long and hard about different ways to address this. And if we can respectfully listen to each other, we will co-create solutions that we will go out and implement. So they got into their interviews. They're at point in the afternoon, they're getting into changes, and I see this man and he's banging on a table, just banging. And yet everybody's relaxed, they're looking at him, but there's no tension. And as I walk past, I hear him say, yeah, I know we're like-hearted, but I'm not putting up with this. And I thought to myself, where else could you have a way of creating such what Jervis Bush calls a safe container? So that he was clear that he was not attacking anyone or judging them, that they were attacking and judging and really pushing for innovative solutions for the best education.
That's a great story.